Good evening. This is Catherine McKee calling the Trails Committee meeting to order on April 24th at 7:32 p.m. We're going to do a roll call vote. Let me know that you're here when I call your name. Will Warren.
Here.
Tom McCoolier.
Here.
Satyendra Sharma.
Muted.
Are you still muted, Sati? Okay.
It keeps on. Okay, there you go.
Okay, and Kat McKee here. Great, thank you all. Okay, so first order of business is the minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to review those, or should I pull them up on the screen and we do a line by line?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, great. Sati, thank you for pulling those together. Does someone want to make a motion to approve the minutes of March 20th, 2025?
I move Will Warren to approve the minutes of March 20.
Great, and
I'll second it.
thank you. All in favor? Will Warren?
Aye.
Tom McCoolier?
Aye.
Satyendra Sharma?
Aye.
Kat McKee. Okay. Did you say nay?
Who, me?
Yeah. Did I hear nay?
Nay.
It's just me. So I think we've all approved and we're good to go. Thank you very much for that. Okay, and so next up is Peninsula Trail. So we have good progress on number 3. The parking paving was completed this week. Very excited. I will show a couple pictures so we can see. But yeah, so the engineering, asphalt engineering did the paving, and they did the next step is to do the signage for the handicap piece. So let me share this. Okay. Here we go. Is everyone seeing a screen now? Where are you seeing?
Mm-hmm.
So this is, they did a great job. It looks very professional. One side is a handicap, so you have a van and a car access, and you can see the little pathway back here. So it goes around the gate, striped very clearly. And the other side has the 3. Here's a close-up of the little sidewalk around. And then we have 3 spots on the other side. So that adds, I mean, that's significant for the Trails Committee in Southborough, because we've never added parking like this. If I think about all the things that we've done, we've been able to, yeah, no, this is really it. This is a new addition. So exciting. This will add to the regular parking at the lower end of this hill, which can accommodate 3 to 5 cars, depending on how you park. Okay. So I'm going to send them a thank you. I think they're going to do the signage, the stand-up signs, the post-in signs will be by May 6th. 6th is a Tuesday, yeah. So I think that's going to be due. And while I'm showing pictures, I'm jumping around a little bit. So Sati, I apologize. This will be part of one of the items, which was the Fay School volunteers. So since I'm in pictures, I wanted to show you, we have the Fay School reached out about volunteering with us for Earth Day. So I did a quick survey of the trails to see if there was any cleanup that we could have them do, and they're really, our trails are in pretty good shape now. I haven't checked all of the trails off of Ward Road up there in the forest, which I do believe needs some cleanup.
Actually, I was there probably like a month ago, and it was,
oh, yeah?
it was fine. It was good.
Not bad. Okay, good. That's good news for us, considering some of
You're
the
talking about trash pickup, right?
No, debris, trail, like, it's a little early for the trails to be grown up, but looking for dead trees, limbs in the way, those types of things.
So this is for Peninsula Trail?
Pardon?
Peninsula Trail, which one?
This one is off of Ward Road along the aqueduct of the open channel. So it runs very straight for a while and then it veers off into the woods. I think what is veering off into the woods, and then there's a section of trail that goes down to, what is the name of that road? Does it start with the letter B?
Bigelow.
Bigelow. We took on the maintenance for some of that from the
Mhm.
Sudbury Valley trustees since it abutted some of our trails. So
Yeah.
we've been out there surveying it. Have you, Tom?
Yeah, the only thing is when they cut along the reservoir, they don't go up that at all, which I wish they would go maybe 20 yards and the grass stops and it's
Oh, I
a
see what you
regular
mean.
trail. But they got to go, they used to go up that way. They used to take a left,
Yep.
and then come back down. That's where the granite post is. You know
Yes,
it.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So they anyway, so we couldn't get them to do that, but I did suggest, I asked them, I was like, while it's not exactly Earth Day activity as you might think in a regular way, but the benches that we have, would the students be interested in helping us assemble them? They're made from recycled plastic. You could focus on the company that makes them, which is using it's a polyethylene type of plastic, like the milk jugs are made of. So that's what the benches are made of. They said yes, and they brought a bunch of students. This is a quick flash of the students that were there that helped us put together. They assembled all 5 of them. And so now those 5 assembled benches are they're located in our shed. I know we talked about bringing them to the site and assembling there, which was a great idea for the reasons that we had it, but I had to take the opportunity to get them assembled. So we'll figure that part out. They're not that heavy. The good news is that we'll be able to transport them. And we also have the gorilla cart that will be easy enough to use to help
These students are from what school?
Bay School.
Okay.
So they actually
Okay.
were able to walk here from their activity from the school. So that was really exciting.
Okay, we,
So, yeah.
the Rotary Club of Southborough, we went over, this past Tuesday to the Faith School. And, hopefully we'll be getting some of their students to help with the trash pickup that we're doing this Saturday,
Oh, fun. Very good.
weather permitting. But that's on roads.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not on the trails.
Yes.
I just saw the weather. It's not supposed to be pleasant.
Now,
Yeah, what we're probably gonna do is hand out the stuff, but tell people that they can do it, Saturday anytime, Sunday anytime. And then
Yeah.
leave the trash by the side of the road.
oh, that's smart.
So, Kat, one thing. So, the volunteers who did the trail maintenance on Ward Road, who were who are
But
they
we
from?
did not have
Oh,
anyone
we.
do Ward Road. That was basically saying I did not survey that
Oh, okay.
section further up that's in the woods, the wooded trail. I have not surveyed that, but I
Okay.
suspect that it could use some
Okay.
maintenance in the near future. If not, if we need to wait till things grow in, but also I think it may have had some residual requirements from last year. So we had a couple of situations where, so here they're putting the benches together. Sometimes their pre-drilled holes would not align. So 2 things that we need to do is one bench doesn't, we just need to work with it and tweak it and get those screws in to make it work. And so I just told the students to stop on that one. And then we purchased 4 standard benches and then 1 handicap accessible bench, just a bench that was more for people who had mobility issues and needed a different style. This bench, we ended up putting it together and then not realizing that we switched up 2 of the boards so that the handles don't go on properly, the arms. So we had to take that apart and now we just have to put it back together. But we've already done it once, so it's a 10-15 minute job, not a big deal. But now we can talk about where we might want to put. So the ADA bench is going to go on the Peninsula Trail. We can talk about if we want a second bench, because one of the things about making it an ADA trail is having rest stops for people to sit if they do have mobility issues, not in a wheelchair. So we could probably get away with 1 more bench if we wanted to along that trail. And so what we can do is I think the Trails Committee budget, and I want to say it's a few $100s, like maybe 500. So if we still have budget left this year in our standard annual budget, we might want to purchase another one of those to go along that trail.
Mhm.
Okay.
By the way, how much budget did we get in this year?
I don't know. That's a great question, Will. We'll get back to that next week. I didn't have a big role in discussing that this year. So I'm thinking things rolled forward as they did last year.
Okay,
But I'll ask because we need to know, but in case it's changed significantly, we would need to know that as well. But I kind of felt like it was going to move forward the way it was. But it's a TBD.
well, if it's in the warrant, I mean, I was at the meeting and no one put a hold
Yeah,
on the Trails Committee, so if it was in the warrant, it was passed. If it wasn't in the warrant, then no.
well, it's embedded in recreation's budget, so
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
we don't have a separate line item anymore?
it's a line item in the recreation budget.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there were no holds on recreation's budget, so
So that's good. Yeah.
yeah, we should
And
be
I can
fine.
check that out too. And yeah, so this was it was a really nice surprise and success that this came together last minute. And very grateful. I'll send them a nice thank you for their work. We used handheld screwdrivers because I only had a couple of power drills, but the coordinator thought we were better off with screwdrivers because not everyone knows how to use a power drill. And what I noticed was we were stripping some screws. So we have to be careful because it was getting hairy there for a minute. And then I had to come up with all these screwdrivers. So of course my husband has a lot of screwdrivers. We have a lot of different everythings, but I pulled together this pack and then I had some small mini ones. So I had to give out the small mini ones. And the funny thing is, like, one of them came up to me and it's like, can I get a real screwdriver?
I got a big boy screwdriver.
I didn't mean to set you up for failure there, but yeah, sure, you know, real one. Anyway, so it was good, good experience, but yeah. So I might, I had asked if I could post some on Facebook as long as they don't have visuals of faces, we should be in good shape on that.
Do we have enough accessible trail, do you think, to have ourselves listed on the Massachusetts accessible trail list?
That's a great question because I was just thinking about that this week. It's 0.4 miles roughly. We can remeasure it.
Right.
So I don't know if that qualifies as, but we definitely do want to put ourselves on a list rather, you know, I mean, people can make the choice of whether they can, if it's worth a walk out here or not a walk. I apologize for being insensitive, but whether it's worth a trip to see the trail or not. But I definitely want to do that, Will. So if you can help me remember or actually connect us to the people we need to know. I think the better time to do that is as we get the signage in place, the interpretive signs, because that's going to make the whole experience, it's going to bring it together, to have at least a worthwhile experience of like, oh, you get to kind of walk along this beautiful trail, but you also get to learn this rich history of the building of the dam and the people who lived here and the Native Americans that were here. So that might be worthwhile. So if you don't mind collecting that information, where we need to go, what we would need to do, Will, and then we can bring it up in the near future.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the site right now, and I guess we're in the west region, or are we in the central? But the point I would just make is that on this list of accessible trails, there's some that are just 0.25 miles listed.
I noticed that actually when I was researching a while back that some of the trails are smaller and it made me feel a little bit more comfortable that ours is a little small.
Yeah, I think if we're 0.4 miles, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's 0.4 miles there and 0.4 miles back. It's 0.8 miles.
Hey, that's a great way to look at it, Tom. Thanks.
Glass half full.
Actually, it's point. Very good point. Okay.
Okay.
So back to number 3, the Mass Trails grant. So that paving, and that paving was part of our match. So I'm happy to say we've made our match for the grant. Yay, we've exceeded it in a big way. So this is great news. Now we just have to do the signage and finish the project. So, and that's
So
it.
how did we exceed our match? What was put us over the top?
Because let's see, what did we do? We had already submitted.
Hours. We submitted the hours.
Yeah, so we had 30,000. Oh, wait. Am I sure? Let me check on that. Because we had submitted we had some volunteer hours. Was it? Yeah, I'll go do the numbers, but I'm pretty sure that that amount plus what we already submitted puts us over our match.
Okay.
But I'll double check that and get back to us on next week on next time on numbers.
Well, I just, I was just curious as to, what put us over the top. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah. As
Okay.
long as we're on the right side of those numbers, that's what I was hoping for, which is the important part. Okay, so related to signage, I have not yet been able to focus. I have not connected with the individual who we had been given his name to discuss Native American documents, maps, things for the region. So I'm gonna have to go to a plan B and start doing our own independent researching and connect with people. I'm sure there's resources out there. We just have to kind of work with them and find them. Because we've got to get the signage going and go ahead and get that process, especially with prices changing and all sorts of things changing. We need to understand, what costs are how that's impacted our costs, if at all, and go ahead and execute. So, so we'll address again next meeting. Okay. Any questions on that piece? Okay.
Just one, what would you say would be the official date that we're going to have, that the trail is going to be open or whatever?
I can't give you a date. Yeah, so ideally, will we get it done this year? But I've said that a lot. So we're not giving specific dates because we don't know. It just, there's a variety of things which I can segue if we don't have any other questions on this part to the next piece,
Mhm.
which is the boardwalk and bridge. So I connected with Beals and Thomas, and there's a tiny question that the structural engineer is trying to work through, and it has to do with his recommendation for the bridge height. So we've gone back and forth with MWA on how high the bridge should be based on the flooding, the 100-year flood, plan. And so they settled on a number, and then there's a question about it needs to be a little bit higher to be above the floodplain or the flood level or the 100-year flood level. But to do that would make the bridge awkwardly high, like in a way that's not really recommended. So the unique aspect that we have to work with here is that MWA controls the flow of that water, right? So say we have a storm coming, 100-year flood, whatever. This is a very unique situation where you have the ability to control that flow. So we're going back to the structural engineering to engineer, and this is about liability. So if something were to happen, they don't want to be on the hook for not, for us not following this recommendation that's required, that they're saying is important to meet this standard. But the standard doesn't necessarily, this just happens to be a unique situation where it wouldn't be in the wild, right, where people aren't controlling. So we're trying to work through that. That's caused a bit of a delay in this again. So the next step is to have Beals finalize the bid documents, which should be forthcoming. He's going to give me an update in an email in the next day or so. So we should have information by next week, I'm hoping, on where we are with that. So we really should be ready to go to bid within a month. Given, unless this issue becomes a bigger issue, which I hope it doesn't, because steel prices are going up too, and that bridge is made of steel. So, but I think we're buying in America anyway, so I don't know that those prices are.
Right. I guess it's a good thing then.
If the steel comes from Canada, though, before it's manufactured, we're kind of screwed, right?
Canada is part of America.
Yeah,
So
but we need to do buy America.
No, Canada is a foreign country, Tom. You need to stay up to date. There's a 25% tariff on steel from Canada right now.
Okay, we're not going to buy steel from Canada.
Well, the people making what we're buying might, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's where we are with that project. Oh, also, so I had mentioned last meeting that the Bay Circuit Trail folks that are under Appalachian Mountain Club reached out to ask if we were still interested in volunteers to help build the natural surface trail on, right next to the bridge and boardwalk. And I said, we are. So she put out a date, June. What date did she put out? Let me look again, because that doesn't line up with the day that I thought it was. But the good news is she's going to check with her team, so they may have some, and I think we can knock it out in a day if we had a number of people. And there may be some pre-work we can do, like taking down some minor trees that we have permission to take down. Okay, June 8th. June 8th is a Sunday. So I'm gonna put a calendar invite on ours just to hold that. It would be great if we could attend, as many of us as possible, if you can make that work, because it's, we'll be working alongside AMC volunteers who do trail building. So in a way, it would be a mini trail workshop for some of us, that would benefit. Benefit our skills, building opportunity. Will benefit us in that way. Sending it now. Okay. Yeah, so that would be nice, to go ahead and get that set up and ready to go. And yeah, any other questions on that? Okay, we talked about Faith School, volunteer. Yeah, I have been delinquent in following up with the individual that I had communicated with earlier this year. So she was traveling at the time, so we couldn't connect, but I will reach back out to her, and then see if, see what interest she has, whether it be one time or ongoing. Okay. Closing out outstanding projects. I think, one of our projects was, we had started, an interpretive sign. Oh, you know what? We didn't talk. I wanted to circle back. I'm sorry, I'm going a little bouncy, but, Will, you were gonna look up and try to connect us with resource for a map. And I'm just wondering if you had any, had a chance to do that, or
No,
maybe.
I haven't had a chance to do that. I mean, it's what I'm looking for though is, how we contribute our information to Google Maps, rather than trying to hire somebody to draw particular maps for us, right?
No, we want Google, we want someone to draw maps. I think we want someone to be able to provide a mapping, because I think we want something a little more professional to put on the kiosk.
Well, yeah, but, okay, I mean, if we can contribute to Google, then that all of our trails can be there. That'd be
Of
one
course,
thing.
we can add it to Google, not stopping that
Okay,
process at all.
no,
I
that
love-
wasn't the
love-
impression I came away with last time, so I'll look for that too.
Okay,
So
Yeah,
we're
thank-
looking for someone to draw one up.
yeah, we want someone to be able to map it out, make a professional map for us, a trails map that we can use on a kiosk. So it needs to be high resolution so we can blow it up. And then, we can use it as a PDF on our website, those types of things. And if the price is right and we can reach out, we can look at, broader project being, let's update all of our maps to have more professional looking maps in general for all the trails in town. But Google Maps is always a go, Will. We definitely want to have our trails on that. So
Yeah, I just, I mean, the stuff that they generate automatically is actually pretty high quality. Plus, it has the advantage of having, additional information on it that we wouldn't necessarily pay somebody to reproduce. But okay, I'll be looking that way.
yeah,
All right.
thank you. Yeah, appreciate that. Okay. Anyway, back to the closing projects. We have the idea of putting a small interpretive sign up. When Isabella left, she had pulled together something about trees and this and that. So I think I have the PDF of that. I want to ask anyone on the committee who might have an opportunity, does anyone have time to, if I were to send you the original plans, see if you could just bring that to a next level version that you could bring back to the committee for review and discussion at our next meeting? And this is like a small interpretive sign. I think it's highlighting trees, for example. So it'd be looking to vet the information. Is it the right information we want to share? Is it enticing enough to put on a sign and put up somewhere?
Okay,
So you
sure.
already have that document done? You just want to,
We have a
refresh it.
partial document, but
All right.
it needs some polishing.
I'll if you want to give it to me, I will do that.
I'll tell you what, I'll give it to you if you give me the work plan, because I
I
want.
did. I
You did?
did. I gave it like 2 weeks ago.
Let me see if this is for real. Thank you, by the way. If you said, oh, timesheet 2014.
Because I'm not on my personal computer, but I sent it from my personal computer.
Oh, Yahoo.
Um, no, it would have
So
been
you
from
would
the
have sent.
yeah.
Okay.
Here, let me go in. Yeah, because I've been with all the hacks and stuff with the town email. I've been having to reset my password a lot. Let me go check and maybe it's still in the
Yeah,
sent folder.
yeah, I'm not seeing it. So yeah, do check. Thank you.
All right,
Okay, great.
do
So
that.
if
I'll do that right when we finish.
okay, yeah. So if we could finish up the work plan, that would be great. I think that's just the only outstanding thing on our contract. So I just, while we're doing work on the property and things like that, I just want to get our T's crossed and I's dotted to make sure we're in the good and
Yeah,
not delinquent.
actually no, you got me. I got to stop looking for it. Pay
Okay.
attention. Pay attention.
Yep.
My
Okay.
ADD's kicking in right now.
I've been unfocused all meeting. Okay, so related to programming and things of this year, I could reach out to, if we're still interested in exploring yoga on the trail series, I could reach out to Emma and see if she wants to, if she wants to do a series on the trails again and what that would look like. We may not be able to fund as many as we did last year, depending on our budget, but we could probably do a few if the price is still similar. Like we might be able to do 4. So I think she's 75 a piece.
And we have that in the budget?
I think we might be able to get that in the
Yeah,
budget.
I would say let's continue it. Let's even if we
I
do.
think it's a good thing.
I agree with you. It's a continuation year after year.
Yeah. And so the other thing is, last year we were focused on building trail, the project itself, and we did not do a lot of different programming. It would be nice this year if we could do some programming. And I know the heat of the summer, the highlight of the summer is not the best time, and spring and fall are really peak times to do some programming. Guided hikes of some sort with some twist. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but the other aspect is in the summer, the kids are out of school, maybe parents are looking for activities.
Things to do. That's true. So,
Especially in June before the summer months come in.
yeah. Any thoughts on different ideas?
Would we be at all interested in, I guess we're mostly trail bound kind of people, right? We're not interested in orienteering, are we?
Oh, that might be a very nice twist on the trail use. I particularly am interested in it because I recently got lost on the trail. So I need all the help I can get. Joking.
Well,
What did you have in
well, I mean, there are some people that I know or that I have heard of through the Trailblazers Club who do, they do orienteering. They're big into orienteering, but they might know or have advice on how to set it up. And
Yeah.
It could be that we do it in some place where we can go a little bit overland between trails or whatever, but
Yeah, that's right.
right. And and basically it could be orienteering around the town, which instead of through woods would, on trails, etc. That would that would maybe be more accessible for kids and things like that.
Yeah. I like that idea. I also like, so the idea, and that would be using a map and compass is your idea.
Well, yeah, it can be using a map and compass. I mean, there might be different takes on it, that not just map and compass, but map and compass is generally what, orienteering types do, but
I like that idea a lot.
It could actually be, it could be some other approaches. I mean, one thing I would say is if you're going to be trail and road bound, right, which what I would say is that you probably want to not have everybody going on the same route. So in other words, you'd sort of create different routes that all eventually get to the same place, but
Yeah,
that way people aren't bumping into each other all the time.
yeah. No, that's a wonderful idea. I think that's a great concept because especially like, our trails are kind of urban trails, so sometimes challenging to find interesting things along the trails if you've already been on them.
Right.
But bringing this type of programming wheel orienteering is a really nice concept of another creative way of thinking about how to use the trails. So, if you make any contacts, let us know and
Okay.
we can figure that out. So we talked about signage, and so Tom, you can. So I'll send you the other thing.
Yeah, because it's really just polishing it up, right?
Yeah, polishing it up, and then if you and honestly, if you get to it and you're like, I don't really want to do that topic. If you think there should be another topic and we need to start fresh, we can
All right.
think about that.
Yep.
But utilizing our budget this year would be a good thing to be thinking about now, so it's not a race to the finish at the end. Yeah, I think. Oh, I wanted to let you know along the lines of other business. We were contacted by a group about the Bewalt Trail. So I don't know if you guys read any of the press. There was some controversy in Westboro about the Bewalt Trail, and I believe even someone sent an article. There was an article written that said Southborough was not in support of the trail, which is not true. So someone did talk to me, called me a couple times, and we talked to them. I talked to them about the Bewalt being a challenge in Southborough, and that we were working on another project, so we couldn't focus on it now. But we never said we weren't in support of. So that's misinformation being spread, which is unfortunate. But there's a group called Friends of Westboro. They're establishing Friends of Westboro Bewalt, and they're looking for potential collaboration with Southborough to talk about the Bewalt Trail, what the status of the Bewalt Trail planning in Southborough is, and things like that. So I can reach out to this person. And you tell me if you feel differently, but I have found that our committee is currently full until we can't take on new projects until we finish this project. And I feel like this project is all consuming and it's been taking a long time, and we really need to focus on this and getting it done before we take on anything else, not even a feasibility plan, not doing it. So does anyone feel differently and you want to take it on? Because otherwise this, I'll reach out kindly and be very supportive of the BWALT, but we can have a brief meeting about it, but we're not going to put it on the planning for this year because we need to get through our current project list.
1,000 times agree.
Does this go in the minutes? No.
Yes, you can put it in the minutes. It's called, it's the Friends of Westboro BWALT group.
Yeah, I just did a face there. I guess it's just on Facebook.
Yeah, they said they're establishing it, so they're probably new.
Yeah,
so-
and it could fall in our schedule, but I totally agree with you. We got to finish the stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's that I wanted to share. Anything else up with the committee? Okay, so for next meeting, I'm really hoping that we should have, I would rather have the next meeting when we have a bid in our hands, right? So I'm going to ask, we're going to get that update from Beal soon. So why don't we target, today is the 24th. How about the 8th of May? That gives us, if we did get a bid, enough time to have another meeting if we had to.
I already have plans on the 8th of May. Sorry.
All right. How about the 6th of May?
That's fine.
That's a Tuesday.
I mean,
Switching things up a little bit. I don't know. How you will and Sati
You mean on the next meeting?
on May 6th? Yeah, would that work? May 6th is a Tuesday. Different for us, a little different.
Yeah, I think May 6th would be fine. I don't think I have anything on that calendar right now.
Okay, and so I'd be looking at 7:30 p.m. I'll quickly go send an invite to see if it's available because Tuesday's a popular night. We've been lucky in getting our room 3. So I can quickly see if that's going to be available. Okay, so that is that. Let's plan for the 6th if it doesn't work. If that doesn't work, would the 13th work as a backup if for some reason we had to move it? That's
13th would be fine with me.
Yeah.
Fine. Also,
all right. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so oh, let's see. Did I get
I mean, you could do the 13th or the 15th of that week. For me, I mean, personally, I mean, we don't have to stay on Tuesdays if that's a bad day. It just I already have plans for the 8th.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just trying to keep. Okay, so the room's available on the 8th, so we're good. Let's keep it then. I mean, on the 6th.
Okay.
Okay, great. All right, so I think we're good to go. Sati, note that Sam Stivers was a visitor.
Yeah, I have noted that.
Hello, Sam. Okay, so that's that. Does someone want to make a motion to adjourn
So be it.
at 8:08?
I will second it.
Great, let's do a roll call. Satyendra Sharma,
Yes.
Tom McCoolier,
Yes.
Will Warren,
Yes.
Kat McKee. Yes, great. All right, thank you all, and we'll
Thank you.
next time.
Okay.
Bye all.